The town of Starwood was a quiet place at night, with winding cobblestone streets, cozy houses with their lights turned low, and the gentle hum of crickets singing under a silver moon. The world outside slept peacefully, but inside 4 different homes, 4 young explorers were wide awake: Mia, Sam, Tariq, and Lila. They called themselves the Midnight Pack, and tonight they had a mission that had filled their dreams for weeks. They were after a legendary treasure that was said to be hidden somewhere in their hometown. A treasure that had been whispered about for generations. A treasure that no one had ever found. Some said it had the power to make wishes come true. Others said it was a symbol of the town's forgotten magic. The Midnight Pack was determined to find it. Each of them, dressed warmly against the night chill, slipped quietly out of their homes, careful not to wake anyone. They met at the old oak tree that stood in the middle of the town square, its branches bare under the moonlight. Mia carried a lantern. Sam had a rolled-up map tucked into his backpack. Tariq brought his notebook, and Lila carried a small spade. Without a word, they shared a glance filled with excitement and curiosity and began their adventure. The streets were empty and calm, the night air crisp, as they moved quietly through the town. They knew where they needed to go. The old clock tower that stood tall at the edge of Starwood. It was said that the treasure was hidden beneath it, somewhere deep in the shadows where no one had thought to look. The tower loomed in the distance, its silhouette dark against the starry sky. And the friends quickened their pace, their footsteps soft on the cobblestones. As they reached the base of the clock tower, they paused for a moment, looking up at the tall structure that seemed to touch the sky. Mia held up her lantern, casting a warm glow across the wooden door that led inside. It was old, the wood weathered and worn, and it creaked as they slowly pushed it open. The air inside was cool and musty, filled with the scent of aged wood and dust. They stepped inside, their eyes adjusting to the dim light. The room was filled with gears and old machinery, the inner workings of the clock that had stood for over a century. Sam unrolled the map, his finger tracing a line that led them to a narrow staircase winding down into the darkness. The treasure, they knew, was not in the tower itself, but beneath it. One by one, they descended the stairs, their lantern casting long shadows along the walls. The stairs seemed to go on forever, spiraling down into the depths of the earth. The deeper they went, the quieter the world above seemed to become, until all they could hear was the sound of their own breathing and the soft creak of the steps beneath their feet. Finally, they reached the bottom and found themselves in a small, hidden chamber. The walls were made of stone, and in the center of the room was something extraordinary. A large, round door made of metal, with intricate carvings that seemed to tell a story of the town's history. The friends gathered around, their eyes wide with wonder. Tariq, with his notebook in hand, carefully examined the carvings. He noticed a pattern, symbols that matched the stories they had heard about the treasure, symbols that represented the town's past, its people, and the magic that had once filled its streets. With a steady hand, he traced the pattern, and slowly the metal door began to move, the carvings glowing faintly as it swung open. Behind the door was a small hidden alcove, and there, resting on a stone pedestal, was a treasure they had been searching for, a golden chest, covered in dust but shimmering under the light of Mia's lantern. The friends stepped closer, their hearts pounding with excitement. Lila carefully lifted the lid, and inside they found something beautiful, an old, intricately carved box filled with objects that told the story of Starwood's past. A golden compass, a small crystal that seemed to glow from within, and a book, its pages filled with drawings and stories of the town. But there was something else, something that caught their eye. A small golden key resting on a velvet cushion. It was simple, but it seemed to hum with energy, as if it held a power they couldn't quite understand. Mia picked up the key, and as she did, a warmth spread through the room, a gentle light filling the chamber, washing over the friends and the treasures they had found. They knew in that moment that they had found more than just a treasure. They had found a piece of their town's forgotten magic, a symbol of the hope and wonder that had always been a part of Starwood. With great care, they placed the items back in the chest, except for the key. They knew that the key was meant to be shared, meant to be used to bring a little bit of magic back to their town. They closed the chest, leaving it in the alcove, and turned to make their way back up the stairs, the key tucked safely in Mia's pocket. The journey back to the town square felt different, lighter, as if the world itself had changed. The friends knew that they had found something special, something that would bring joy not just to them, but to everyone in Starwood. As they reached the old oak tree, they paused, and Mia knelt down, placing the key at the base of the tree, its golden glow reflecting in the moonlight. The friends stood together, their hearts filled with a sense of wonder and accomplishment. They knew that they had done something truly special, something that would bring a little bit of magic back to their town. The key, resting at the base of the old oak tree, was a reminder of the adventure they had shared, a symbol of the magic that still existed in the world, if only one dared to look. As the first light of dawn began to appear on the horizon, they knew it was time to go. One by one, they slipped back into their homes, their beds warm and inviting, their hearts filled with the magic of the night. They drifted off to sleep, their dreams filled with hidden treasures, glowing keys, and the promise of many more adventures to come. The next morning, the people of Starwood awoke to find the old oak tree in the town square glowing softly, a golden key resting at its base. The townspeople gathered around, a sense of wonder filling their hearts as they looked at the key, feeling the magic that it seemed to hold. They knew that something special had happened, though they couldn't quite explain it. Mia, Sam, Tariq, and Lila met later that day, standing at the edge of the square, watching as the townspeople admired the key. They smiled at each other, knowing that they had shared something truly magical, an adventure that would stay with them forever. And so, the young explorers learned that the greatest treasures were not just about finding something extraordinary, but about sharing that magic with others. They knew that as long as they had each other, they could face any challenge and bring light to even the darkest nights. Good night, young dreamers. May you always find the magic within yourselves and use it to bring joy to the world.